you remember my Neato Botvac D85, the latest one of all of the robots that we've bought, and actually the one that has turned the corner, because we've got a known working charger, we have a known working vacuum that charges its battery. So this one has been apart, it's been fully stripped, fully refurbished, obviously doesn't like being lifted up off the floor, and yeah, it is back to brand new condition pretty much. So let's have a look at how this one came out, and yeah, finally maybe be able to do an after video of a Neato Botvac. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and robot chums. How are you today? Yes, this came up really rather well. It wasn't particularly filthy anyway. I mean, I think I perhaps could have retro brighted the bottom, but you can't really tell unless you look closely. And obviously everything goes into the bottom. So I didn't really want to do that. We'll start with underneath, because then we can get that out of the way and it will stop bleeping at us. So yeah, everything's been apart. So I've had the wheels out, all of the cogs out of the wheels. These just got little motors there, which then turn the cogs backwards and forwards, which turn the wheels. So they're now fully cleaned and nicely covered in a fresh layer of silicone grease. We lift the base plate up, which is, yeah, very nice and tidy. We can see the brush roll. Now this one has this brush roller in it. If you've been paying attention, you know that I only have 2 brush rolls and neither are particularly great. So yeah, this is in here for now. It does the job. Can't say that I wouldn't quite like some new brush rolls for it, but they do cost a lot of money, and I don't know really, it's a bit hard to justify when these do what they do. I'm not too sure about that part there, whether it is in need of bending back in ever so slightly, because there's a matching one on the base plate, but it doesn't seem to bother it too much. So again, for want of stripping out the spare, which I find myself with, and sorting that out, which is a big old job, we're just gonna probably leave it well alone. So yeah, that was the underneath. Oh. On the top, I tapped out the little dink that was on there, and you can still see it. It's certainly a lot better than it was, and yeah, I've still got to, I might try and machine polish this, but then I don't know if it's going to come up particularly well, because it is very worn. We could get some vinyl covering for it, couldn't we? Vinyl wrap it inside, which obviously, yes, the button is working. There is a micro switch there that contacts. We can lift out our filter and our bin. Oh, there's a little bit test dirt in here, because obviously I've checked it's all working. I had broken one of the wires that runs to this front micro switch here, so luckily I had some spares. Yeah, in there, very clean. I have several types of filters, so this is the type that this has, purple with Neato. I'm sure those of you who know your Neatos will be more au fait with that than I am, but yeah, that goes in there. Oh, it's now full of dust. These aren't particularly fabulous. I prefer the Vorwerk seem to hold the dirt in more, but yeah, to all intents and purposes, yeah, and we could set him off and off he'll go and do some spot cleaning. But we're not really set up for that at the minute. In a second, he's just going to go and hit the camera. Give him us a minute. Oh no, he's going to go off. I think what we'll do is I'm going to set up properly, and we'll do a... Oh. What was that? Oh dear. This has done a full thing. What's it saying? Please press OK to continue. Error 4000. Oh dear. I can feel the LiDAR turning. Come on, we've done this. I do check my stuff first. Me being sat here should be fine. Okay. And we'll stop that, and yeah, I shall go set up and we'll give him a real test. He's got a full battery. We'll see how much of downstairs we can do. I think it does all of it twice, so we should be fine. Yay, it's broken. So, what I think is the problem is the LiDAR sensor. Oh, here we go. So, to get into one of these, we're going to leave it plugged in because if I take the battery out, it's going to demand a full charge. So, brush stuff off, bin out, bumper off, just a small pull and a wiggle, and the bumper comes off. Then we can reach our two screws under here. Flip it over, and then these two here, these two here, and these two here. Not those two there because they hold the motor frame. Then flip it around and the top should come off, and then there's two clips at the front which you need to pull out. Now, you won't have much slack because it's all still plugged in, but all we need to look at is this. Look how clean it all is, look. Very nice indeed. Now, I've messed around with this. I physically took it all apart because that's what I do. And turns out that I didn't recalibrate the LiDAR properly, or to put it more simply, put it back in the wrong position. So we'll take this cap off here. This is obviously the spinny bit. There's our belt. 4 little tiny crosshead screws, and then this little cap comes off. Oh, in fact, I can tell how badly I've gone wrong from here. So under here, this is the part that I'd messed with. In fact, we can take that off. That brass bit there is the depth sensor. And see how far forward it's poking? Well, here I have a non-messed around with one from another one, and look, you can see it's way further back than it's supposed to be. So we'll loosen these 3 screws, try not to touch anything electrical because it's all still live, and then it needs to go back. Let's try and match it up with this forwards. And then off, I need to get some pliers because this needs to be straight. That might be it. That is the same level as that one. So we're not just going to drop the new LiDAR in. We are going to find the piece of very important plastic that I have just mislaid. There it is. This bit here sits over the front of it and lines everything up. Okay, yep. Pop this back on and I'll do all the screws up, get it back together, and we'll try again. We can make it spin, look. If I hold down the bin button and our motor is working, but I need to let go before it starts to move off and get the front cover on. But finally, we have it running and not error 4000 ring out at all. What was the problem? Well, I messed with the LiDAR, didn't I? And it can never calibrate them again. So this Neato now has the LiDAR unit from another one. I had three. One was in bits anyway, so we could rule that one out. One that was in this one, which we ruined. And the one from the other machine, which is now in here. So, finally, a fully working Neato Botvac. Does sort of pose a problem for this one, though, which is, you know, the progress of being sorted, because it doesn't have a LiDAR sensor at all. But what I did notice was the word Vorwerk on one of the PCBs. So, I went, oh, Phoenix. Yes, people look out for that. That's what you've got to look out for. It's the bird. In fact, it even says it on this. It was the same on the Neato one. Obviously, LiDAR, RT interface, Vorwerk, and bar. I mean, it's not even that physically dissimilar. This hole is here on the Neato version, but obviously it's a bit different. But all we really need is the PCB in here to plop into here. So that can be a problem for a future after video. I also grabbed this, look. This is the suction motor from a VR200 and probably VR300. It's quite fun. Problem is there's three wires. I need to work out which is which. There we go, look. Yellow's at the bottom. U, V and W. Who knows? It'd be quite fun. It's only going to be 12 volts, but could be a laugh. We could get another toy vacuum, see if we can pep it up. And finally, because obviously we're getting through things, I'm now getting down to a pile of spares after many months of having these things sat around doing nothing. So this is one of the eBay ones, but with a few bits put around to make that one work, because I broke one of the front sensors. And then I have a VR200 here. Oh, probably isn't going to come out. There we go, look, a VR200. This is the tattiest one. I'd already had apart before, so I had it all apart. It probably works fine now that I'm fairly convinced that it's the chargers that play a part in all of this. But yeah, so this one will stay. I'll put it in the shed probably. As soon as these are done, that can go. And yeah, we have one final after video. Whatever, to go. So after well over a year since we embarked on this stupid project by buying a scrap Neato Botvac and asking ourselves how hard can it be, the answer is potentially not very hard at all, but you've got to have a good known working one really. in order to have the most fun. Otherwise, you're just going to go nuts. That all seemed to be the charges. Even this is now bringing up warnings about the filter. We'll ignore that. We'll cross that off our list. So yeah, I'm going to class this one as done. Obviously, it's very, very complete, which is very nice indeed. So yeah, one down. Well, a lot more to go. So hopefully the next Neato video, we will have the white one running with its Vorwerk VR 200 parts. It best do, because I don't really have a plan B rather than just throwing more money at the problem. Who knows? But until the next time, I and these Botvacs will see you soon. Bye bye.